Check it. Check it, babies. I'm back on the MR. It's happy MR day, babies, and I need to get back on the spike before it falls over because I actually put it down on grass. Oh, isn't it great to be back? Well, it's great to be back on the MR. I have been getting my sports bike fixed lately, and the MR was calling on this fine Sunday afternoon, first day of winter. And winter's normally great riding around here, so here we go. And you forget what a fun bike this is. I know I've called it sort of borderline boring, but that's only in kind of peak hour urban traffic. Out here, it's awesome. And it's just great to be back on the MR. You get on this bike, no matter what other bike you've been riding, no matter how good the other bikes you've been riding, you get back on this, and immediately it feels light, flickable, and just brutal. I've had to take it down from, I was in Race Pro Boomer, hang on, where am I going here? I was in maximum attack mode, and look at this, hill hold, watch this. Oh, there, hill hold. It was in maximum attack mode, and I took it out of maximum attack mode because I hadn't ridden it for a while, and I was riding it fairly aggressively, and the front was just coming up every time I throw it on. So I've just dialed it back a bit to dynamic mode, where I am currently, and just going to reacclimatise myself with this black dark lord of a bike. Yeah, it's very different in dynamic mode. I was coming up here before in Race Pro 1 with my own settings on, and man, it was frightening. Dynamic is way more manageable, which is what I am looking for right this minute. Manageability. We'll dial back up to Race Pro once I get used to it. Now this is where I am going today. I'm still not wide opening throttle on this. I'm getting used to it. You forget, like, I'm quite critical of the Inline 4 brigade. I've been quite critical, and yet I'm critical, but then when I get on this, I'm too scared to wide open throttle on it, only because I'm just getting used to it again. But it is a brutal bike, and look, I think in many ways what's probably annoyed me a bit about this bike is it's so brutal up high, really aggressive up high. It just makes it a bit difficult for road riding. It's probably my only real lagging critique of this bike. But I've got it on dynamic right now just to smooth everything out a little bit. I'm sure I will dial it back up to Race Pro 1, babies, very shortly. So yeah, it's a lovely, nimble and light bike when you get on it. And look, it really is a race bike with upright handlebars, no question. But yeah, I thought I'd get on the Inline 4 after being on the Duke, on the Panigale recently a fair bit, which I'll tell you all about in a moment. And then be like, ugh, boring. But no, I'm not actually. I'm enjoying this. Which is awesome. This thing sounds great, especially in a race mode. Pops and bangs. The gear shifts are so addictive. But it's just such a well put together package, this bike. It's so good at everything. And you know, I've actually written up an ad twice now to sell this and not put it on. I just can't bring myself to sell it. And I do want a fast inline 4 in my portfolio at all times, and I can't think of a better fast inline 4 than this. I just can't. Like, if there was a better one out there, I'd buy it, but I just can't think of one, especially for kind of a combo of urban, street, the occasional track use, like, and then, you know, fast flowing Sunday rides like this. Like, oh, give me a bit of inline 4 and I'll buy it, but I just can't think of one. And look, I know I have been a bit mean to it, but every time I get back on it, I go, oh, why am I mean to it? It's just so bloody good. Anyway, so I'm riding it in dynamic. I don't have direct throttle programmed. I'll get to that later on in the day, that ballistic mode. But I am going to enjoy a Sunday burl on the BMW M1000R, the MR. It's turning and general handling is just right up there, world class. Brakes are probably the best brakes I've ever experienced. Electronics are incredible. Switchgear, TFT, everything great. It looks so great. And I really like the original headline. I know the new one's got a different headline on it. I really like this one. It's kind of stealthy and Darth Vader-ish. I love it. Reminds me of those Cylons out of Battlestar Galactica with the, you know, those front lights go like that. Sort of reminds me of. Love it, love it. The one thing I don't miss about the MR is the vibrations. I cannot see behind me because the mirrors are just like, and you feel the vibes all the way through the bike. But I suppose it's also part of his character. It's also part of his character, and his boys were going like this. Well, go man, go! Part of his character, and it does feel alive. It feels like there's some kind of creature underneath you. Yeah, baby. So there's dynamic mode, and you can feel the wheelie control doing its thing. You can feel traction just gently. It's so gentle. The traction control on this bike is very gentle compared to the Tuono. Tuono's electronic intervention was too intrusive. It really robbed you from, diluted the riding experience. But this is nice and gentle. I felt it there just keeping it nice and pliant. And now if I put it in race mode with my ballistic throttle setting, it actually comes up quite a bit. So why don't we go into race mode? We go race mode. Where are close throttle? Okie dokie. Yeah, so dynamic mode is nice. It's a bit like street mode on the KTM Super Duke 39R. Gives you 80% of the experience, but it's not so scary. Whereas in my settings on Race Pro 1, where I got full ballistic throttle, it's frigging frightening. Anyway, I've got a story about my Ducati Panigale. Look, I may, by the time you see this video, I may have already told you on another video, but I'm going to repeat the story. So, as some of you may know, I test rode the Ducati Panigale V4S, the 2025 one. Loved it. Loved it. I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I bought it on the spot, okay? Spoiler alert! I bought it on the spot, so I own the Ducati Panigale V4S, the 2025. I own it, but can't ride it though. Can't ride it. I bought it 3 weeks ago, and it's spent most of the time that I've owned it in the workshop. Because it is a lemon. I bought a lemon, so a bit like my Aprilia Tuono, that was a lemon. I could never ever get Aprilia to fix that bike, the overheating, couldn't do anything about it. It was a systemic structural flaw in that motorcycle, unfixable. That Aprilia, there were 1,000 opinions on what the problem was. No one could fix it, so I got rid of it. It was a lemon. And my Panigale, brand new $50,000 bike, premium product, Ducati's top-notch premium product. It's a lemon. So yeah, I bought it from Ducati Sydney, and whilst everything was, you know, in the early stages, the pre-delivery stages and test ride stages. 1 second. Everything was going well in those stages, and while things were going well, Ducati Sydney were good to me. They were good to deal with. But I picked up the brand new Panigale, and I've got various videos which I may or may not have, by the time you see this, produced on that new bike day, etc. And yeah, so I picked it up. When I picked it up, on the day I picked it up, there were issues with the screen when they were going around the bike, showing me around the bike. Except when they turned it on, the screen didn't come on. It was black, dark. The bike was on. They turned the bike on to prove it was running, so the engine was running. The screen was dark, was blank. And this went on for about 15 minutes when I was picking the bike up. I just sat quietly watching. I didn't say anything. I was just going, oh shit. Anyway, the guy who was showing me around the bike, who was not actually my salesman, he was his boss. You can tell he was confused, didn't know what the hell was going on. But anyway, after 15 minutes, just randomly, it came on. And once it came on, he was like, oh, no, we're good to go. I said, are you sure, mate? Are you sure? It doesn't look good to me. He goes, no, it's fine. It's working now, we're all good. And I remember riding away thinking, oh shit, this is gonna come back and bite me in the ass. Those things are never just random. Anyway, I put it out of my mind for a couple of days. I rode the bike around, and then sure enough, mid-ride, on a Saturday, I was going out for a big ride, and I'd only been out, I'd been out for about half an hour. It was a big 3 or 4 hour ride I was going on. Screen goes blank, and I had to finish the ride. I'd like complete the ride. I rode for another hour and a half with no screen, so no speedo, no fuel gauge, no nothing, no real controllability. I mean, it's illegal, right? Riding a vehicle without a speedometer for a start, it's illegal. And anyway, I texted and rang the dealer, and they said, oh sheesh, you know, bring it in. Anyway, they were quite good. They came and got the bike. They had to, because it was illegal. It was illegal to ride it on the road, so they had to come and get it. They did. And 2 days later, get a phone call. Well, in actual fact, I always have to follow them up. They don't call me, so I call them. Oh yeah, no, we fixed it. I'm like, well, how? Have you replaced the screen? No. I said, well, how have you fixed it? Was there a loose connection? No, connection's real good. Screen's fine. It's working fine. We fixed it. We just did a software upgrade. So I'm like, oh, here we go. This is just Ducati kind of process of elimination, go through. I said, are you sure? Have you test ridden it for a day or two, like really made sure? It was just, yeah, no, it's fine. Are you confident? Yeah. Okay, no worries. So they brought the bike back to me. I had to go away for some work stuff, so I was sitting in my garage for a week or so. I got on it to ride it, and the screen didn't come on from the get-go. Didn't come on, and so that was the following Saturday. So I couldn't ride it. I wanted to go on a nice ride, couldn't. Anyway, on the Sunday I turned it on, and it was on now. So it's completely random, right? I ring them back and say, guys, this is a lemon. Like, you've got to replace the screen or the bike. I don't want to spend the next, the first month or two of owning this bike dealing with this shit and stress. And I've been through this path before. Anyway, the senior sales guy, not the guy who sold me the bike, but his boss, the guy who stuffed it up to begin with, who refused to ring me. Eventually I said, look, mate, I left the other guy saying, you gotta get this guy to ring me. Eventually he rings me late Saturday afternoon. He's so defensive, and then he just says, you know what, mate, it's just bad luck. You just bought a bike that's got a problem. We all know how this is going to go. You're going to get pissed off and frustrated because it's going to go back and forth, and eventually you're going to have to enforce your rights via consumer protection laws, and it's going to be a shit fight. And that's just sorry about that. That's basically what he said. was just like, oh no, not only do I have a lemon of a bike, I've got a lemon of a dealer. And I was disappointed mainly because it's a new Ducati dealer, and I was really looking forward to building a relationship with them and having, you know, a pleasant experience. Because the motorcycling industry in this country, man, it is full of B graders, and here I am again dealing with a B grader, yet another one. Anyway, goes on and on, phone calls between me and the service department. Eventually the service department says, right, we're going to try and fix to get your new screen. And they couldn't find a screen because they're not on, or you can't order them, there's no stock. They had to get a new stock code. It just goes on, you can see how this is playing out. Anyway, so I then emailed the dealer principal, who I'm told in the motorcycling circles is a decent guy, and he's been quite good. But this screen ordering issue, which is a Ducati Italy problem, started slowing things down. So I thought, bugger this. So I emailed the head of Ducati Australia and New Zealand and said, can you guys kind of prioritise this? Anyway, they reckon there's going to be a new screen on its way next week. So I've owned the bike for 21 days and I've only ridden it for about 3. Really awesome bike, I love it, but it's a lemon. And so let's see what happens. If they replace, they still don't even know if this is actually a screen issue. So you know, they're going to put this new screen on hopefully, and then I'll be back on the bike, and I am hoping like crazy that fixes the problem. Anyway, more to come on that. Woohoo! Oh, it sounds good, doesn't it? Nice little wheelie. Here we go, live music. It's bike o'clock here at Wiseman's Ferry. Look at that. That's as many bikes out here as I've seen in ages. Anyway, a couple of adjustments here. Okay, I'm in Race Pro 1, which is not direct throttle, but it's full power. Race Pro 2 is direct throttle. What I like about Race Pro 1, my setting, is the throttle becomes your riding mode, basically. If you don't want to scare yourself, you don't go wide open, you just go half throttle, and the front will keep down nicely, plenty of pace. Yeah, and you can get like almost like a turbocharged response from the engine. You get this kind of spool up, build up of torque, and you can decide how fast it spools up. If you just go mad on the throttle, you get that front wheel up straight away. So I like it. It's a much more enjoyable bike to ride in full power mode. Much more enjoyable. Just put my riding aids on, all of my electronics. All right. Nope, thought they were supervisors then. This thing's just got so much top end, which I'm not even going to remotely get near on the road. But in this mode, it's got great mid-range as well. Oh. There's a reason why I don't go too far to the left on these roads. There's 4 holes. Yeah, it's basically a hot, like extremely competent machine. It does everything so bloody well. And really nice to have in the garage, in the portfolio for, you know, a Sunday build like this every now and again. I still prefer the KTM Super Duke for everyday riding. And I probably still prefer the Panigale for really fast riding, but just for that in-between kind of up, you know, more upright, comfortable, but super kind of sports bike-esque slot, my inline 4 slot in my provider still belongs to this bike, and thoroughly deserves to be there. Yeah, it's just, it's a track bike. It's a track bike, for sure. Every bit as a track bike as the Ducati, just with no fairing.